Friends of the media, a warm welcome to Hello Hong Kong press conference. Before I introduce our panelists, we do have simultaneous interpretation in Cantonese, Putonghua, and English.
Now, let me introduce our government officials, but before that, just a reminder, we have simultaneous interpretation services, Cantonese, Mandarin, and English.
And Hong Kong team members, may I warmly remind our media friends that today we have simultaneous interpretation with channels in Cantonese, Putonghua, and English. 今日出席記者會嘅
With us today are Financial Secretary Mr. Paul Chan, Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism Mr. Kevin Yeung, Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development Mr. Elton Yao, Secretary of Financial Services and Treasury Mr. Christopher Hui, Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry Mr. or Professor Sun Dong, Chief Executive Director of Tourism Board Mr. Ding Cheng, Mr. Fred Lam, CEO of TMHK, and last but not least, Mr. Fletch Chen, Director of Information Services. There are two parts to today's press conference. The first part is the speech by the officials and the Hong Kong team, and then we throw the floor open for questions. First of all, Financial Secretary, please. Hello, friends of the media. A warm welcome to today's press conference. With the 3 years of pandemic out of the way, we are on the way back to normality. We are reconnecting with the world. Am I coming through? We can anticipate that the economy this year would be a lot better than last year. The cargo and passengers will also increase. We have done so much over the years to make Hong Kong a better place. We try to make Hong Kong shine in its renewed glory. We hope that we will be returning to the pre-pandemic level. Not only that, we want to morph into a new stage and to scale new heights. With any recovery, it would take time. It would take tourists to come back and flights to be laid on and business to revive. It might take some time. And the world over, they are trying to get the visitors to their own places. I think we have to redouble our efforts to make the world know about Hong Kong's latest development. The Hong Kong SAR government is taking forward all these initiatives. The task force on rebranding Hong Kong has held its first meeting, which is led by me. We hope that we will be gathering all the wisdom to showcase Hong Kong's new advantages. We have launched the Hello Hong Kong campaign, and we're showcasing the rest of the world that Hong Kong is back. And we will be introducing the new attractions in Hong Kong. And we would welcome visitors from all over the world to come to Hong Kong and experience the good food here and also the advantages here. You'll find that Hong Kong is a lovely place full of vibrancy and dynamism, and there is a very strong cultural life here. From the launch ceremony, I hope that you have already had some ideas about the Hello Hong Kong campaign. Later on, my colleagues And also the AAHK and the Hong Kong Tourism Board will be taking you through all the details. Whether it is for the task force or whether it is for other promotion, our strategies are predicated on 3 areas. First, we will give full play to Hong Kong's potential in the new dynamics. We will be telling a good Hong Kong story. Hong Kong has undergone some changes. We have a clearer positioning. One country, 2 systems will be going strong, and this is buttressing our strength. Hong Kong's unique positions will be maintained. We are a proactive government, and we are promoting the market development, and this certainly will bring about more impetus for development in Hong Kong. People outside of Hong Kong may not be aware of the opportunities in Hong Kong, and maybe some of them don't have enough information. They're not sufficiently informed about Hong Kong, and they may have some misconception. I think we have to present the true picture to them. Second, we want to reach out, we want to attract visitors to Hong Kong, and we will be inviting friends from all over the world to come to Hong Kong to experience for themselves and to discover the interesting things about Hong Kong. Reaching out, the whole team, the Hong Kong team and the business community will be visiting different regions and countries and markets, and they will be connecting with these places to promote Hong Kong's advantages and to promote the flagship events in Hong Kong. Third, we have to show the advantages that we have. We need to have concerted efforts from all parties and to take the initiatives. So we have set up the task force on rebranding Hong Kong, and we have the Hong Kong team partners. With their support, the Hong Kong SL government will be doing the promotion in overseas markets, and that would be a lot more fit for purpose. To promote Hong Kong's advantages, we are issuing friendly invitations to people from the mainland overseas for them to come to travel and to do business in Hong Kong. And we will be promoting our advantages so that people outside Hong Kong would be more informed about Hong Kong and more in tune with reality. Let me switch to English.
Now I would like to say a few words in English. After 3 years of pandemic, Hong Kong has entered a new development phase, an exciting development phase. We are actively returning to normalcy. We are fully connected with the mainland and the rest of the world. Going forward, nothing can stop us from bouncing back. The Hello Hong Kong campaign heralds our return to the world stage. We eagerly welcome friends from around the world to come and see and experience for themselves the vibrancy, diversity, dynamism of our city, the trade and business opportunities we offer, our arts and cultural delights, spectacular sports events, scenic country parks, the sun and the sea, and of course, our delicacies and more than 200 Michelin star restaurants. And the Hello Hong Kong campaign is just the beginning. Through establishing the task force on promoting and blending Hong Kong, we are all going all out to promote the singular advantages of our city to overseas and mainland audiences. Our priority is to make sure that people around the world have an accurate understanding of Hong Kong. Beyond business visitors and tourists, we will be inviting government dignitaries, business leaders, influencers, and media representatives to come here to experience the real Hong Kong. At the same time, various members of the Hong Kong team will be visiting different countries and territories to make sure that the Hong Kong story is heard loud and clear. We are counting on many of our prominent partners in the business, media, and cultural communities, local and overseas, to help us get the message across. Some of our colleagues from the Hong Kong team are here to tell you more about the Hello Hong Kong campaign. Thank you very much. 跟住落嚟，我請
Coming up, I'm going to be inviting the Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism to say a few words. Friends of the media, hello. Earlier, the Chief Executive has already announced and activated the Hello Hong Kong campaign. The FS has also talked about the promotion direction and the strategies. I'm going to be focusing on some of the measures of luring tourists to Hong Kong. We are all ready. We're gearing up for the tourists. We welcome tourists from all over the world to come to Hong Kong to see the attractions and enjoy the wonderful experience here. And also to reconnect with friends and renew friendship here. Hello Hong Kong campaign is a promotional campaign launched by the Hong Kong Tourism Board. We will be playing videos from all of Hong Kong. We'll be inviting celebrities and personalities to introduce and promote Hong Kong and also the wonderful experience here, including art and cultural life and sporting events. Also, our heritage, our scenic sports, and the impressive Victoria Harbour, and also the delicacies and all the interesting places. We have the Hong Kong goodies covering transport, attractions and retail offers, and different shop operators are also offering different goodies to welcome the tourists to Hong Kong. This will enrich their experience while they are here. And the AAHK, Airport Authority of Hong Kong, will be distributing some free air tickets. The HKTB and the AAHK will be filling you in with more details later on. As the Chief Executive said a moment ago, in the coming months, we will be rolling out a whole raft of major mega events. We have the Hong Kong Marathon, the Basel Art event, the West K Music Festival 2023, and Hong Kong Rugby 7. And thereafter, the Hong Kong TB will be organizing a whole series of mega events to showcase our dynamism and vibrancy, including the Wine and Dine Festival, the Cyclothon, and also the countdown to the new year, as well as a whole host of other events like the Winter Fest and the Lunar New Year celebrations. Other than that, in March, we're going to have the Museum Summit in March, and also the cultural events. The HKTB will also be promoting many of the events to attract many of the convention exhibition events to Hong Kong. We have the World Summit Hong Kong and also the 44th APDC event and WOW Summit, as well as the AFL, Asia Fruit Logistica. In terms of the cruise liner, we have the cruise lines coming back to Hong Kong, and this signifies the recovery of the tourism trade in Hong Kong. The HKTB and the Hong Kong SL government will be supporting the ocean liners and encourage them to have a presence in Hong Kong. We may be suffering from the pandemic, but we've never stopped enhancing the attractions and facilities. We have two world-class museums, including the M+ Museum and also the Hong Kong Palace Museum, which is showcasing a lot of rare artifacts. All of these are enriching the visual art experience, and this is bringing a fusion of East and West to the visitors. And Hong Kong Disneyland has already opened the new castle, and they are working to expand the facilities. The Ocean Park has already opened the Water World, and this is very much a must-see place. The Peak Tram has also revamped the tram cars for people to enjoy the scenery that much better. We also have the Ong Ping 360. In recent years, we've also rolled out a lot of the art festivals, and we are bringing the visitors events that are encapsulating nature, art, and so on. Before the pandemic, Hong Kong was the most visited places in the world. We will be returning with a vengeance. We will be coming back to the world stage. We hope that we will be bringing about memorable and pleasurable hospitable experience for the visitors. I hand you across to the TMHK and also the HKTB to talk about all the offers for the visitors. Thank you. Welcome, very warm welcome to this press conference. Let me say a little bit about the Hello Hong Kong. Let me take you through some of the details here. First of all, this promotion is intended for the whole of Hong Kong to be behind us. So we don't have any copyright. We welcome anybody and everybody to be part of this Hello Hong Kong campaign. In terms of the promotion strategies, we will be extending our biggest welcome to the world, as the chief executive said a moment ago, and this is the biggest welcome in the world. We are luring visitors back to Hong Kong, and one of the things that we're doing is basically seeing is believing. We hope that more visitors will be coming back to Hong Kong to have a look at the latest in Hong Kong. They will be able to experience the latest situation here in Hong Kong. And third, together with the tourism trade, we will be reaching out to the world and taking part in different tourism exhibitions and expos, and these will be taking place in the next fortnight. We'll be visiting India, the Middle East, Europe, the US, and Australia, and we will be visiting these places to showcase our allure. And we'll be organizing a lot of mega events and create opportunities. Hello Hong Kong is easy to say, and we try to make it simple. We are trying to extend our greetings to people from around the world and reconnect with them and renew friendship with them to get across the message that Hong Kong does welcome them. So hello Hong Kong means hello from Hong Kong. It is also a hello to Hong Kong. We hope that they will also be saying hello back to us. And we'll also be mobilizing the whole of Hong Kong, everybody, the business community, to be a good host and play host to the visitors. So as I said, there is no copyright per se, and I hope that you will avail yourselves of this opportunity. Now we have a lot of promotional clips. You've seen one of them just a few moments ago, and these were produced by us together with various entities. We have a very interesting video. We have invited the celebrities, Mr. Aaron Kwok, Ms. Sammy Cheng, and Ms. Kelly Chan. They will be extending an invitation to the rest of the world to meet up with them in Hong Kong. So there's going to be a show globally.
Hong Kong is ready to welcome you all again. It's time for all of us to say hello, Hong Kong.
Hello， 大家好，我係 Aaron 廣成。香港已經準備好同世界各地旅客 say hello。大家都知道香港係人民天堂同美食天堂，我哋仲有好多美好嘅禮遇等住你哋，約定你香港。
大家好，我是 Sammy 金世文。香港已经准备好跟大家 say hello。大家都知道我平常最喜欢阳光跟大自然，这里真的有好多好多美丽的地方。我们还准备了很多礼遇，等着迎接你们，跟你约好，香港见。
Hello, this is Kelly Chan. Hong Kong is now ready to say hello to everyone. As you all know, Hong Kong has a lot of exciting activities and attractions for families and friends. We have prepared lots of offers and excitement to welcome you back. See you in Hong Kong.
And this video will be played or carried by well over 3,000 global platforms. We also welcome you to play this clip. And the audience coverage will be 200 million. We also have celebrities from the mainland, overseas, to say hello, Hong Kong. But they will be doing so from overseas, from the mainland. We have iconic personalities, celebrities and business leaders and chefs. Some of them have been to Hong Kong, and they have produced all these clips for us. We also have hello faces and places and different attractions. All of them are saying hello to visitors from the mainland and from overseas. The Victoria Harbour has undergone a lot of changes, and the skylines have undergone some changes. And in our cultural life, in our tourism, there are new experiences. We have new city oases. All these that will be introduced to the overseas visitors. We also have the visitors offers. At this preliminary stage, we have well over 16,000 shops that are offering these offers, and we have prepared 1 million Hong Kong goodies for the visitors who come to Hong Kong. These are the vouchers for them to redeem some of the complimentary drinks, and they can also use these at the premises and transport and other attractions. And all these complimentary vouchers will be made available at the 4 Hong Kong Tourism Board counters at the different crossings and different arrival points. We also have the largest campaign of free air tickets. Mr. Fred Lim from the AAHK will be taking you through this in just a moment. As we're opening up, and there will be more visitors coming to Hong Kong, we have well over 250 mega events of different categories to bring about different experiences to the visitors. Hook and Flap, Arts in Hong Kong, Art Basel, the Marathon, the Rugby Sevens, and also the Museum Summit. All of these will be taking place in the next month, in March. And we understand that people are inquiring about further information from overseas about these events. As to the convention exhibition, we're going to have well over 100 world-class MICE events. I don't propose to repeat them here, and there are a lot of visitors who are prepared to come back to Hong Kong. In the recent months, we have received many inquiries from the MICE organizations that they probably have gone to or moved on to other places over the past few years, but they are getting ready to come back to Hong Kong. Outdoors are open, and this is the best time for us to join hands to welcome the visitors back here. Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Fred Lam from the AAHK, Financial Secretary, Friends of the Media. The AAHK is very pleased to be part of this Hello Hong Kong campaign launch ceremony, spearheaded by the Hong Kong SAR government and the Hong Kong Tourism Board. I'll be talking a little about the free air ticket. In April 2022, we announced that we will be distributing free air tickets for the Hong Kong carriers. Rather than intending to tide the carriers over the difficulties, we hope that when the pandemic recedes, we will be able to attract the visitors to come back to Hong Kong and to use our airport for travel. Now, in order to support this event, we'll be distributing 500,000 free air tickets, and they will be distributed to the visitors in overseas market, and some of them will be reserved for the travel industry and different organizations for them to promote tourism and also to promote events in Hong Kong. The 3 carriers in Hong Kong will, through their regional offices and their agents, distribute all these air tickets. The carriers will be acting in accordance with the rules and regulations in different places and organize their promotional activities. That they may be having the lucky draw, they may have a buy one get one free campaign, or they may have some promotional games to distribute the tickets. Now, this free air ticket campaign will kick off on the 1st of March, lasting for 6 months. The airlines will be rolling out the promotional campaigns at different times. And for those who get the free air tickets, I hope that they will be coming along, bring along some relatives and friends on the trip, we may be handing out 500,000 tickets. I think we will be able to bring more than 1.5 million visitors to Hong Kong. Between March and September, by our estimation, this will take up about 10% or more of the total number of visitors. Now, with these complimentary tickets, we will be producing the publicity effect, and at the time when the airlines industry and the tourism industry need the support both, we hope that this campaign will certainly bring about more tangible benefits. As to the distribution of the air tickets, before COVID, we had the information on the distribution of the passengers. Now, basically, in visitors from Asia, those using the airport, they took about 75% of the total number of passengers. So the airlines will be covering Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore, and they will be doing these markets first, and after the Southeast Asia, we will be moving up to Northeast Asian market and then the mainland. Now, other than these 500,000 air tickets, last year we have handed out 60,000 free air tickets to encourage the members of the public in Hong Kong to get vaccinated. In summer this year, there will be an additional 80,000 free air tickets to be handed out to the people of Hong Kong, and some of them will be distributed to the visitors from the Greater Bay Area to entice them to come to Hong Kong via the airport. So basically, the total number of air tickets distributed stands at more than 700,000. We have to be grateful to the airlines companies. In 2022, when we discussed this idea, we enjoy really immense support from them. We thought that the number would be a lot less, but we ended up being able to acquire 700,000 or more tickets, and that would give us some more promotional effect. The Hong Kong airport is one of the most important air hubs in the region, and we hope that the visitors will be coming back in their droves. And with this free air ticket campaign, we support the revival of the airline industry and also stimulate the tourism industry and put Hong Kong back to on the path to recovery. Thank you. Thanks very much, Frank. I'd like to invite the SCED, Friends of the Media. I'll be talking a little bit about the CEDB's initiatives to take Hong Kong forward. We are liaising with the business community in the world to get across the message. In Bangkok, the chief executive told a good story about Hong Kong. In 2023, President Xi referred to the 10th anniversary of Belt and Road Initiative, and the chief executive will be leading a delegation to Saudi Arabia and UAE to promote and consolidate our connection with the Middle East. We also showcasing our liaison abilities and play a springboard role under the Belt and Road initiatives. We will be going to emerging markets to promote Hong Kong and tell the good stories of Hong Kong. Earlier, I visited Cambodia and Vietnam, and I discussed with the business community about the accession to RCEP and I got a really positive response. We will be enhancing our lobbying work and secure support for Hong Kong's accession to RCEP. I'll be attending, together with FS and the CE, many of the flagship events, including the Smart Hong Kong in May, and Chic Hong Kong, and also I think Business Think Hong Kong that's going to be taking place in Thailand. We will be promoting Hong Kong services and products. I will also visit ASEAN countries and some of the Belt and Road countries to attract the key businesses to make investment in Hong Kong. We've also started the free trade negotiation with Peru and to strengthen our economic ties. We have 14 ETOs, and these 14 ETOs will be liaising with different business communities in all these different places to promote one country, two systems, and also our art and cultural life and our soft power there. As an important window to be connected with the rest of the world, Hong Kong has always been an excellent place to do business. We will be organizing different MICE events. In 2023, there are going to be 250 MICE events that will be taking place at the Hong Kong Convention Exhibition Center and the AWE. And these include the Jewelry and Gem Summit, Basel Art in Hong Kong, Belt and Road Summit, the Summit on Intellectual Property, and so on. We are promoting the 1.1 billion worth of support scheme for the convention exhibition industry, and this will be going on for 3 years to attract the events to come to Hong Kong under the Mega Event Fund. Now, there are some events that have moved elsewhere during the pandemic that will be coming back to Hong Kong. We will be welcoming back hundreds of thousands of visitors to Hong Kong. They will be promoting the development of the F&B industry. And Invest Hong Kong will be organizing well over 70 events and talks, and some of them are global events. There is one on the life science program, and Invest Hong Kong will also organize the annual gathering to inspire greater confidence on the mainland investors in Hong Kong. That the new strategic office has already started operating, and they will be introducing more strategic enterprises to be present in Hong Kong. Hong Kong has always been able to rebound from crisis, and our resilience is bountiful, and we will be giving full play to our potential and open up more opportunities. I'm sure that in the days to come, there will be bountiful opportunities that people can avail themselves of. Thank you. And next, Mr. Christopher Hui, FSTB. FS, thank you. As Hong Kong is back on the path to normality and get reconnected with the mainland and the world, Hong Kong will enjoy more opportunities as an international financial center. Investors will certainly be looking for reliable markets in the world, and Hong Kong will take all the boxes there. Our vision is to create a market that can convert all the businesses that would like to raise raise finance, the family offices, and green and sustainable finance, trailbreakers, and we believe that with greater connection, we will be able to have better growth. We will seize the opportunities to play the role of connecting with the mainland and the rest of the world. As the FS said, we are a proactive government, and we are putting in place the roadmap. We have the taxation policy. We're revamping the market regulations, and proactively we are enhancing the competitiveness. For example, if you are in the virtual asset area, we do have a very clear policy framework, and we do have the regulatory system there. If you're involved in the AI business, we've also tailor-made the new listing system for them to raise finance and to get in touch with the businesses. If you are an international company that wants to venture into the mainland, listing in Hong Kong will certainly enable you to carve out a path and join the Connect system. All these are realistic opportunities that will transform into business profitability. We will be showcasing our unique advantages. We have many of the mega events in November. We have the FinTech Week. We have the Insurance Summit, and also the Asian Financial Summit. The Global Financial Leaders Summit will be held again. I'll be visiting the Greater Bay Area and the Asian countries like Cambodia and Vietnam, and I'll also be visiting Europe and tell the unique financial stories of Hong Kong. I am confident that these strategies and action plan will help promote Hong Kong's development to Hong Kong to greater heights. Thank you. Thanks very much, Chris. Next, I'd like to invite SITI, Professor Sun Dong. Thank you, FS. I'll be briefly taking you through the new direction of Hong Kong. We are developing Hong Kong into an international.
Therefore, we have prepared to launch a series of measures. Number one, we're going to launch a 10 billion fund to assist minimum 100 research teams this year to promote the commercialization of research results. We encourage teams to cooperate with partners from other countries to join this plan. Number two, we will promote the development of strategic industries with the purpose of attracting more than 100 domestic and overseas research teams to settle down in Hong Kong. Number three, our flag project in Hong Kong platform for R&D has attracted over 30 internationally renowned universities, as well as local universities, as well as research institutions, with over 28 research labs. We will continue expanding this plan. Number four, we're going to launch the scholarship plans to assist the local universities in order to attract researchers from other countries to join us in Hong Kong in R&D. This year in Hong Kong, we're going to hold a series of R&D events to welcome friends from all over the world to join us and experience our R&D and innovation life in Hong Kong. In April, as a flagship event, in April, we are going to hold for the first time the International innovation event, and as well as the digital event, digital summit. In November, we're going to have the first laureate summit. In December, we're going to hold the 22nd Asia Innovation Information and Communication event summit. And our innovation organizations this year are also going to organize different events to promote exchanges and cooperations. This year, we are going to send out delegations to different regions and to discuss about cooperations and set up exchanges with different organizations in different countries. After my visits in Beijing, we are going to visit Europe, Southeast Asia, and mainland China once again to tell our Hong Kong's story by telling them our R&D advantages in Hong Kong in order to attract more businesses and talents to Hong Kong. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Sun. And I'll throw the floor open for questions. Yes, this is the time for questions. If you'd like to put a question, please raise your hands. Yes, lady in brown, please. Your organization, please. Please keep yourself to 2 questions. About the testing at the border crossing, there is no announcement that the PCR test and also overseas visitors, the vaccination requirement, that there is no announcement there. Now you are launching this Hello Hong Kong campaign. Would there be any hindrance, any stumbling block? Will you be announcing more details about the PCR test, the vaccination requirements, and so on? Now, my second question is about the free air tickets. It was said that the air tickets will be handed over to the visitors. Now, what sort of visitors will be getting the tickets? You also mentioned the GBA visitors, and they will also get the tickets. How many will be reserved to them? Is it 60,000 or what? Thank you. Thanks very much. Yes, about the control points, testing and requirement for Hong Kong to be back to normal. We have to make adjustment. We will be making the announcement as soon as possible. The relevant bureaus will be making the announcement once some details are firmed up. I defer to Mr. Fred Lam about the air tickets. Right, the air tickets will be distributed overseas via the carriers and via different activities, and there are those specific restrictions that they have to comply with the rules and regulations, of course. There may be lucky draws and quizzes and so on. If you're lucky enough to get the tickets, you will be enjoying the free flight. We don't have any specific requirements about what sort of visitors will be given the tickets. As you understand, they would look at the flight capacity, and they would allot certain quantities. The airlines will be making the announcement as time goes by. GBA, the Greater Bay Area, is an important market. Pre-COVID, we had 14 million visitors from the GBA that used the airport in Hong Kong. So, other than handing out the 80,000 tickets in Hong Kong, we also encourage the GBA visitors to not just come to Hong Kong, and not just to come to Hong Kong to travel, and we also encourage them to come to Hong Kong for business via the airport, and we're distributing the same amount, about 80,000 for the GBA as well. Next, please. Lady in red at the far end, please.
FP, is this Hello Hong Kong campaign based on the studies and recommendations from the Relaunch Hong Kong campaign, which the government commissioned the PR firm Consulum to do back in 2020 and 2021, which cost the government more than 40 million Hong Kong dollars? And these whole Hello Hong Kong campaign, how much would it cost? Is there an estimate number that the government can share with people? And also, lastly, there are reports about reopening the Law border on the coming Monday. Is there any announcements the officials can now make? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. If I may invite Mr. Dane Chen to answer the first question.
Yes, thank you for your question. In the past some years, actually, during the whole pandemic period and the Hong Kong Tourism Board, we have been monitoring how the other countries, when they resume travel or reopening their borders. So we have taken a lot of studies through our 16 offices overseas, as well as taken into account and references, including the report that the government conducted before on the relaunch Hong Kong. But this particular Hello Hong Kong campaign is developed by the Hong Kong Tourism Board, and we are planning to invest in the initial stage, a minimum of 100 million Hong Kong dollars in the initial stage. Okay, the whole idea is that we want to reconnect and greet with the world in our initial stage. I think for the last some months and years that Hong Kong, when we are reopening and resuming travel, we need to make it clear that we are now totally, fully unconditionally reopen to our travelers. So I think that is the way we want to go for. In terms of whether or not, how do we come up with this Hello Hong Kong? I think, number one, as I said before, there is no proprietary. It's a very simple way to say hello to anyone. Greetings from overseas to us and for us to overseas. And similarly, we adopt the same concept for the Chinese version to say the same thing, 你好, 香港.
Yeah, we understand that the law custom is also very important for the people of Hong Kong and the mainland to travel. We are working very hard with our counterpart, trying to reopen it as soon as practicable. Negotiations are underway, making good progress. I'm sure the Chief Secretary for Administration will be announcing it in the earliest opportunity. Yeah, thank you.
好，下一條提問啦。係
Next, please. Lady in black in the second row, please. AM 730. Now, these 500,000 air tickets, will they be handed out within 6 months' time? Has the administration been liaising with the F&B trade to come up with more specific measures to help the revival of Hong Kong's economy, not just the distribution of the free air tickets, without any follow-up action? If I may also ask about the 80,000 air tickets for the people of Hong Kong, how are they going to be distributed? What conditions do they have to fulfill? Do they have to be vaccinated? Why is it that they are only distributed in summer? What's the whole purpose of doing it at that time? Right, defer to Mr. Fred Lam about the air tickets. Right. The 80,000 tickets, the airlines will be announcing the details shortly. We like to do this in an orderly fashion. Actually, we're talking about 600,000 air tickets, and we have to do this in an orderly manner. The summer vacation is the peak season for travel, and I'm sure the people will feel or will welcome these kind of gestures at that time. As to the overseas distribution, starting from March, the carriers will be distributing them. We hope that within 6 months' time or thereabout, they will be able to distribute all of the tickets. In the course of recovery of the airline industry, the period that they need most help for would be the next 6 months. and the longer this is dragged on, the effect will be less significant. So it would depend on the approaches adopted by the airlines. And the idea is they will start doing this in March. We've already said a few moments ago that we do have the strategy to cover Southeast Asia first before extending to other places. And we do liaise with the government and the Hong Kong Tourism Board. And we also tie in with the promotional strategies of the HKTB, and these airline tickets will certainly give more impetus to these initiatives. As to the F&B trade, starting from last year, as we progressively started the resumption of travel, things have become a lot more optimistic. So retail and F&B, they have experienced some positive changes. Now, the key thing about F&B and retail are people flow during the Lunar New Year period. People find it difficult to book a table. It is pretty busy. Retail, it might take some time. 20–30% of the sales volumes come from overseas visitors for the retail trade. As the travel becomes more frequent and more visitors are coming to Hong Kong, I'm sure that would certainly give this sector a boost. 2023 is going to be a lot better than last year. So the economic situation will be looking up. The job market will also be doing good, and people's wages would improve. And this certainly would provide a boost to the retail industry. Next, please. A lady in brown, please, in the middle row.
Questions from RTHK. So, because some of the tickets are reserved for Hong Kong people, so what is the aim for adding these tickets in this Hello Hong Kong campaign? Is this also encouraging Hong Kong people to go out for traveling as well? And because some airlines said it's impossible to resume full passenger capacity this year, so can these airlines fulfill this demand for these 500,000 free air tickets? And Financial Secretary, you mentioned about going global and also inviting leaders to come. So is there a priority in between the two? Like, should officials go out to tell good stories first, or invite them and let them experience themselves? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. If I may invite Mr. Fat Lam to answer the first part of the question first.
Thank you, Financial Secretary. The tickets for Hong Kong citizens, we actually work this out together with, obviously, Hong Kong government, the stakeholders, and the tourism board. We feel then that this is all part of the idea of Hello Hong Kong within Hong Kong. So we also feel then perhaps this is also a way to let Hong Kong people share the same joy that this campaign would bring about. We also obviously work very closely with the airlines. They are the ones to distribute the tickets, not us. So, airlines obviously would be able to work it out to make sure then that they would have the capacity to meet the demand from these free tickets, right? So, and that's why we're also giving them a few months. They are not giving it away in a very short period of time. 6 months, we feel then should be sufficient for them to be able to distribute those tickets in a orderly manner. And a lot of these tickets will be distributed overseas. So this is also a very important way for the airlines to try to attract more tourists back to Hong Kong. At the moment, we can see in the last few months, a lot of the passengers are from within Hong Kong. So we hope, these free tickets would help to also attract visitors from Hong Kong to try to rebalance the, passenger flow.
Yeah, we are eager to tell the world that Hong Kong returns to normalcy. We are back in business, and we welcome tourists from all over the world. To this end, all the relevant government officials will proactively reach out to different markets, visit different countries, to tell the actual situation in Hong Kong, let people know that in the new stage of development, what are the new opportunities, what are the advantages of Hong Kong, and what they can take in terms of business opportunities by coming here. At the same time, we want to invite people to come over because, as my colleagues rightly put it, seeing is believing. In fact, before pandemic, every year we invited what we call VIPs to come to Hong Kong to visit. And these two initiatives, going out and inviting friends to come, are not mutually exclusive. So we have to do this concurrently. This year we plan to invite about 1,000 VIPs from overseas. Not just business leaders, but also political leaders, also representatives from the media sector, as well as think tanks. Yeah, thank you.
好，因為時間關係咧，我哋最後兩。
Well, let's take two final questions in the interest of time. The lady there in grey, please. Cable news. A moment ago, you said that this is costing us $100 million. Does it include the 700,000 air tickets? Are the free air tickets distributed by the airlines, or would the cost be paid up by the government? Would there be any time limit for the use of the tickets? Now, we are paying for the visitors to come to Hong Kong. Now, this is taxpayers' money. Is it really money well spent? How can you convince the public this is money well spent? Right, I invite Mr. Ding Chen and then Mr. Fred Lam, please. Well, I mentioned 100 million. This is the preliminary investment. And we haven't been opened up for some time here in Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is the last place to relaunch tourism. I think we have to get the message across to the rest of the world that Hong Kong has relaunched our tourism. At a preliminary stage, we're investing 100 million. This is for the publicity on the part of the HKTB. This includes all the production of the promotional videos, and this includes the delegation to overseas exhibitions, and this includes the invitation of overseas personalities to come and experience Hong Kong. And that doesn't include the airline tickets. Right, the air tickets are sponsored by the TMHK. As I said in April 2020, having regard to the unique situation prevailing at the time, the airlines face tremendous difficulties. And this is one of the ways to assist the airlines companies. Of course, if we disperse cash, it doesn't achieve the longer-term impact. So we figured that we should discuss with the airlines to render assistance in the form of free airline tickets. And they were very supportive, and they were of the view that this scheme would certainly produce tangible effect to lure visitors back to Hong Kong post-pandemic. So that's why we discussed this idea. We earmarked the funding, and they are distributing the funding. We've been waiting for 3 years now, and we are really eager to hand out the tickets to attract the visitors back to Hong Kong as soon as possible. Now, Hong Kong is back on the center stage in the world. We have lifted a lot of the curbs, and this is an opportune moment after discussing with the HKTB for the tickets to be distributed now. Now, we are grateful to the airlines that we didn't have a lot of funding, and the airlines were willing to take us up on the offer, and certainly there is a concession given to us by the airlines company, and they are very much eager to support this program. So with this program, we hope that we can distribute the airline tickets as soon as possible so that more overseas visitors will be back in Hong Kong to achieve the intended effect. But there is another angle. Mr. Fred Lam mentioned the idea that different airlines have different approaches. That some would have buy one get one free, others would have other packages to attract the visitors. And I think that these free airline tickets would have multiplying effect. We can have more visitors coming to Hong Kong, and they will be enjoying the F&B experience. I've been to the Davos for a meeting in Switzerland, and I got the opportunity to talk with the business leaders from other parts of the world. Now, one of the experiences is that during the 3-year COVID hit period, not many people have been to Hong Kong. Even if they came to Hong Kong, they came very briefly, and they didn't have a very clear idea about Hong Kong. Like the COVID measures, the economic situation in Hong Kong, they're not sufficiently informed about Hong Kong. Now, we have been struggling for 3 years, and Hong Kong is, after all, a tiny external-oriented economy. Our economic development would be predicated on connection with the rest of the world and tourism. And we believe that we can enhance the attractiveness by launching this scheme for people to come to Hong Kong and have fun, and we hope that they will also be spending more. Right, gentleman in white on the third row, please. One-way power. The hotels and the transport operators entertaining the visitors, how ready are they? Are there any measures to help these operators to get ready for the incoming visitors? Ding? Sorry, Kevin. Right, I try to get the opportunity to say a few words. Indeed, the visitors are traveling back to Hong Kong, and they're certainly boosting the tourism trade here. In the tourism trade, including the hotel hospitality sector and the transportation sector, they are building up their own capacity, and it would take a bit of time, I must admit. It is well nigh impossible to expect everything to be back to the level pre-COVID in 2018-19. But we've been liaising with the hospitality sector and the transport sector, and we do appreciate that they are very anxious to bring back the business. And also in their preparation for the recovery, they may experience difficulties in terms of finance and also manpower, and this is something that we do appreciate, and we do maintain liaison with them. if there are administrative measures that can be put in place to render assistance for the hospitality trade, tourism trade, and the transportation sector, we are standing ready to help. They also made some requests, depending on the situation where we can help, we would. In the days to come, when the visitor numbers are picking up, I'm sure that the sectors will, depending on the situation, increase their capacity as time goes by, and the whole government will be liaising closely with the sector, so you can rest assured. Thank you, Kevin. That's it for today. Thank you all very much. Thank you for coming.